Hello and welcome back to the accounting module. In our previous lesson, we reviewed the analytics feature. In this lesson, we will review the accounting feature assets. Odoo's asset depreciation functionality allows you to manage the depreciation of your company's assets accurately and efficiently. With this feature, you can track the value reduction of your assets over time and ensure compliance with accounting standards. This lesson will be broken into two sections: manual depreciation method and automated depreciation method. We will begin with the manual method. Let's suppose we have recently acquired a new machine for our production line, and we want to track its depreciation over time to ensure accurate financial reporting. Let's navigate to Accounting, Assets. We will click on New to create an asset record and name it as Machine 004 to represent the recently acquired machine. Let's now configure the depreciation parameters. Under the Asset section, the first thing we can set is the original value of the asset. This is the purchase value of the asset. Let's set this as £12,000. Under the acquisition date, we will set it as if we had purchased this on the 1st of January 2025. The next field we have here is Asset Model. We will skip this step and set this as blank for the time being and discuss about models later in this lesson. Moving on to the depreciation section, we can see the field Method. Method allows us to define the way the asset will be depreciated. Under this field, you will find the options Straight Line, Declining, and Declining then Straight Line. If you are an accountant, then you may be very familiar with these concepts. For those who are not accountants, the straight line basically means that you depreciate your asset equally over a period of time. For example, if we depreciate our machine that we bought for £12,000 over a period of 12 months under the straight line method, then the system will automatically depreciate £1,000 a month. If we do it under the declining method, then we will have set a declining factor or percentage for depreciation, and the depreciation will be driven by percentage. If we do it under the declining then straight line, that means we want to aggressively depreciate the value of the machine in the earlier periods of depreciation. This method will ensure that the whichever is higher approach is applied when depreciating an asset. For example, if the declining calculation says the depreciation for the month end should be £500, but straight line says it should be £1,000, then the system will automatically depreciate the asset based on the straight line method, ignoring the declining method, as it is on at a higher end. We will set it as straight line on this occasion and set the duration as 12 months. The next field we have here is Computation, which allows us to define the pro rata of depreciation. No pro rata. This option implies that no pro rata depreciation is calculated for partial periods. The depreciation method remains constant throughout the defined depreciation periods, regardless of the acquisition or disposal dates. Constant periods. With this option, the depreciation is divided equally among the defined depreciation periods, regardless of partial periods. The depreciation amount for each period remains constant, and the partial periods are not taken into account. Based on days per period. This option considers the actual number of days an asset is owned during each depreciation period. The depreciation amount is prorated based on the number of days the asset was owned during the period. This method provides a more accurate calculation by taking into account the partial periods. We will set this depreciation as constant period. The next field is pro rata date, which is usually equal to acquisition date under a constant period computation. The next field is not depreciable value. This field allows you to define the salvage value of your asset. For example, although our machine will lose its value over the period of the next 12 months, it cannot be that it will be valueless at the end. At its end of life, the machine will hold some intrinsic value, which we will set as £1,000. This means that if we bought our machine for £12,000, over the period of the next 12 months, it will lose value of £11,000, and the machine will still be worth £1,000 at the end of its life. Now let's jump into the accounting section. We will set the related fixed asset account as machine, depreciation account as the machinery depreciation, and expense account as tangible asset depreciation. Now that we have completed all the fields, we will press the button Compute Depreciation, which will generate draft entries which we can review by clicking on the Depreciation Board tab. The entries in blue represent draft entries, and when we are happy with these entries, we can confirm the depreciation by pressing the Confirm button. Upon confirmation, the depreciation entries will kick in, and any entries for dates prior to today will be shown in black as posted entries, with a journal entry number. In this case, you can see that the system has already posted entries up to the current month. And the Posted Entries Smart button shows there are 8 entries to date. The remaining entries will be posted automatically each month end. Now let's look at automated depreciation. Odoo can automate depreciation through a pre-configured asset model. That means that you define the model of depreciation, configure it against an account, and Odoo will automatically trigger a depreciation of such assets as and when you raise a supplier invoice. For example, let's go to Configuration Asset Models. Let's create a model called Machine Depreciation. Let's fill in the data with the same details as we did before. Straight line method for a period of 12 months, selecting the machinery depreciation account and tangible assets depreciation as the expense account. Save this model. Now let's navigate to Configuration Chart of Accounts, find the machinery depreciation account and click View. Under the Automation tab, we will set as Create and Validate and click the same model that we just created. Let's save these changes. Now let's go to Vendors, Bills. Click on New to generate a supplier invoice. Let's create a dummy invoice of buying an asset called Machine 005 by clicking Add a Line and using the Burger menu. Enter this as the description. Set the price to £10,000 and set a bill date and customer. Set the account as the machinery depreciation account. Once we are happy with the bill, we can post by clicking on Confirm. As we can see, a smart button for Assets has now appeared. Clicking on this will take us to the asset, and we can see that the system has automatically triggered the depreciation of this new machine using the model we created. Clicking onto the Depreciation Board tab confirms the posted and draft journal entries as before. That's it for this lesson. Why don't you head to the next lesson, where we will explore the deferral functionality of Odoo accounting. Thanks for watching, and until next time.